Contemplate about this for a quick second. What are you going to do when different states, certain turnpikes start increasing their tolls by $200, $300 more? When parking increases to $50 more, lumpers, showers, unnecessary fees. Truck drivers are highly needed, so don't come for me. Attack the ones who keep taxing you.
Life is all about the money. Take a look at the light.
Yes, sir. So I done finally published my first book on February 21st, and so grateful. I'm so excited. I decided to do this video outside because nature and I just feel at one. And I have to say that I do apologize to all those individuals in which I met in these trucking streets. You know, whether you came up to me and you started asking me some questions I wasn't really comfortable with. I told you my name was something else. My bad. But those who know me best know I'm a very direct individual. You know, I'm not with the sugarcoating certain things. And naturally, I would have told you, I would have asked you why you asked me so many personal questions. You know, if it's not about the truck, if it's not about some type of finances out here, it's not really much that I want to talk about, you know, but it's all love. So this book explanation video is legit. I'm gonna explain the cover. I'm gonna briefly go into detail about what the book entails, why I wrote the book. A lot of people have this misunderstanding of the book just based off the title. Let's start with the back. As I read before in the previous video, before this one, no one knows where this road would lead them. Sometimes it takes courage and tenacity going down an unknown path filled with endless opportunities. Inside this brief guide of what the trucking industry entails provides you with insight of what to expect through the unexpected. If you believe trucking is a profession for you, then head to your local DMV for a free CDL manual and get started. This image here was captured on my way to a delivery 143 miles from Levelland, Texas. And it was a video, but I enhanced it into make it to an image. And it was significant to me because I like sunrises. Trucking is a man's job, says who? The title is very controversial for reasons being that people are normally going to assume at any given moment something of what it really isn't. You know, a lot of people look at the title and automatically think like, oh, she's trying to take over, or she's trying to have women take over what a man was deemed as a man's job, which it isn't the case. You really have to, lists can be deceiving, titles can be deceiving. You have to read beyond what's on the surface. So as far as the actual images go, this top portion of the cover was taken in the TA in Baltimore. That day I was feeling a good vibe, a great vibe. And this man and I crossed paths, in which I'm glad we did because he took the image of me. I absolutely love one of these trucks that's on this image, and also this great seafood restaurant that I like out there as well. As far as the bottom half goes, the bottom half, so it's two images combined somewhat into one. I was born in New York. After my parents left Ghana, they went straight to New York. And ever since I was a little girl, I can remember I had a thing for tunnels. I don't know what it is, but even driving trucks now, going through these tunnels is like a big kid, I'm telling you. One thing I will say is that everyone has dark days. Some people have darker days way more than others, you know. It's all about how you combat those thoughts, how you can combat certain emotions to get out of those dark days, because after every tunnel you go through, there's normally a brighter light. It may sound cheesy, it may sound corny, but it's true. You may go through dark tunnels, but normally at the end of the tunnel, it's something brighter. However you want to look at it, but that's how I look at tunnels. I like tunnels. Also, a lot of people may question, oh, why are you so far from the image? I'm someone who genuinely does not like too much attention. I don't like too much attention drawn to me. It's not my thing unless like I'm with my partner, the person I go to sleep with, the person I wake up with. That type of attention is probably the most attention that I actually care to receive. But other than that, just random attention, no. I don't need my face just displayed I would have been closer, you know, but you know, we just stay back a little bit. So that is that. Some people may question why there are 2 signs on here. For those who don't know, these clearance signs will indicate the height of the tunnel. The top portion is 14.8. The shoulder is 10.6. So make sure you stay in your lane, for real. Because you don't want to go as close to the shoulder and like knock off the whole top of your trailer. So moving on into the inside briefly. Every quote, every affirmation, everything in here I made up. Okay, I made it up. I made it up from the top of my head because I like affirmations, for one, and for 2, I love quotes. So there are 6 phases that I placed in here in which I felt like literally all of this is a reflection of what I go through, what I've experienced these past couple of years out here in a male-dominant industry as a woman. And one of the phases, number 6, is don't lose yourself. Before I stepped off my trainer's truck, he literally said, don't lose yourself. Within the midst of like my finalizing process of my training, he was like, don't lose yourself. I knew exactly what he meant, but the way he said it was just like, wow. Like, what am I really about to get myself into, you know? But trucking is not a profession fit for everyone. It's not your average guide. It's not your average book. I wrote this the way I wrote it because it's how I felt most comfortable in doing so. There are so many men with this type of mentality, and even certain women too, who just adopted this type of ideology that just because you see certain men doing certain things, or it's what a man is supposed to be doing, you can't do it. It's crazy. I don't find it to make sense that if a woman is literally selling her body for some bread, that's her only option to do so, especially when the offer is up on the table to step in the truck and she literally has the means to do that. Why knock her hustle? Why knock her overall idea of stepping in the truck? Wouldn't you rather her be in the truck than selling her body? How, like, make that make sense to me. I don't get it. And there's some women who literally receive so much discouragement from the wrong people, in which they end up deviating their path to something that will lead them to nothing, you know? So it's crazy. Before, initially, when I started, I used to be extremely encouraging of women. Oh, step in the truck. You know, this is what you do. But baby, compared to what I go through out here in this industry, it's not at all easy. It's not. It's a challenge every day. I'm telling you, because I watch my back out here. You know, with my level of faith, I watch my back. So I only encourage any woman to come out here if you could fend for yourself, for real. Because out here, it could be like a dog-eat-dog type of world. It is. This type of lifestyle, people say to themselves, you know, people don't speak off certain things because they just don't. Men sometimes believe, not all of y'all, some of y'all truly believe like, oh, just because society has created this type of norm, like, oh, because man's doing it, a man created it, only a man can do it. It don't make sense. It don't make sense to me at all. I've never been that type of woman to think like that. But all I can say is, whether you're a woman, whether you're not a woman, this profession isn't for everyone. Trucking is for me, and I make it for me because driving is therapeutic to me. The way music is to driving and driving is to music, those two combined is like everything to me. Like, for real, my family really knows that. Like, I enjoy driving with a passion. It does something to me, for real. But trucking isn't for everyone. This book, like I said, it's not your average book, it's not your average guide, but it's a great start for someone who is freshly new, wanting to gain some insight of what this job is like based off briefly of what I've experienced. One thing I could genuinely say, I don't get too personal. I don't. The most I think I got personal was during my acknowledgements section and briefly about the about author. But I don't get too personal because I don't need nobody's sympathy. It may sound odd, it may sound arrogant, but it's like, I don't want to hear the whole, oh, you'll be fine, everything's gonna be okay, or I feel for you, or anything like that. I don't want to hear none of that because I put myself out here. You know, I go through what I go through because I put myself in this position. So I don't want to hear none of that. It's so many stories I can come out of the dome to really tell y'all of what I truly go through out here, because it's a challenge every day. It's so many men out here that I come across who truly don't like women being out here. Some of these facilities. There's one situation that occurred to where I felt so disrespected, and I know this man, he felt disrespected as well, because it led up to me moving his work truck out of the way. And like, even throughout that whole ordeal, I was set up for failure when it came to backing up. And I'm telling you, I could be very cutthroat if you're cutthroat, but you know, we try to do better out here. All I can say is that I'm very grateful for what I've experienced. I'm very grateful for what I've learned, and nobody could take that away from me. It's like when you are trained in a certain way, when you grew up a certain way. My own father doesn't like the fact that I drive trucks to this day. So whatever backlash I get from you all is nothing compared to what I honestly receive from home. It's people who still be questioning why you still driving, that I've known personally, you know. Now leading up to my acknowledgement section, there's 4 individuals in this trucking industry in which I'm forever grateful for. One, most importantly, in which y'all probably have read, but Ted, my trainer from Stevens Transport, he literally set me up for success. He prepared me for what was in store. Seriously. This man named John, nothing but consistency with his word, nothing but consistency with his advice. He was just overall consistent. King D-Raj was someone who knew for sure that I wanted to haul cars. So he provided me with a lot of insight on what to expect, what not to expect. Just different type of perspectives that he had when it came to car hauling. And as y'all know, KB the trucker is someone who, this was one individual I promise that was so hopeful, that was so like encouraging and supportive when I started this journey. My own family, like my siblings, everybody was against it. Everybody was telling me no. And I come to find out, I actually found out it was because of fear. It was because of fear. I gotta let the train pass. They were more fearful than I was more fearful. When it comes to me doing certain things, fear isn't the first factor. You know, as long as I have a sufficient amount of information in what I'm getting myself into, I go at it. But I found out, especially from my older sister, that, oh, we were scared for your life. And I'm like, what? So I was on YouTube, and KB the trucker was the second YouTuber that I came across in which I started gaining a whole new perspective of what I was about to get myself into. I ended up reaching out to him, and in all honesty, this man and I formed a solid friendship. Till this day, social media would not know nothing about him and I if it wasn't for one person and one person only. Because like myself, he's someone who, he keeps certain things to himself. I keep certain things to myself. I've always been the type of person that I kind of piece different things, different parts of my life, and I keep them separately because I don't like to intermingle parts of my life. I don't. What's private is private, what's public is public, what's personal is to me, like, you know. So that's how I've always been. I don't think that will ever change, but that is someone that was like my best friend, and everything that he may go through, he would assure me of certain things so I wouldn't go through it. So I gravitated towards him because I felt like he had my best interest at heart. So that's the story on that. And a lot of y'all be raising eyebrows and have all these questions, but literally this man and I are friends. Okay, so this is the last part of the video, and I will say that some of you all have questions or some type of curiosity when it comes to who the book is dedicated to. Kwabna means that he was born on Tuesday, and Kwabna is my cousin. He is someone who has a significant place in my life. This is my biggest cheerleader. This has been always my biggest cheerleader in life. And my father ended up telling me that he was on a ventilator, or he's been on a ventilator for quite some time now, and my father knows how close him and I are. So when I found out, I was just thinking to myself, like, this is crazy. So one of my biggest weaknesses with this book was I was losing my focus. My balance was kind of off because I was thinking about this man. A lot of people have this misconception that I never know what I want to do with my life because I always want to dibble and dabble in like everything. I'm versatile for a reason, and when I end up trying different things, I end up being great at it. No arrogance, just confidence. So I think outside the box, and this individual, my cousin, I couldn't just go to him easily like, yo, so what do you think about this paragraph? Or what do you think about this overall final product before I submit it? It's been a challenge for me. So my balance was off. I was burning myself out. I was burning myself out because I get a certain type of way when I'm burnt out, and it is not fun at all. My strength, I would have to say that I'm a strong writer. I found a passion in writing very early on in life, and writing is a special way to convey my messages once all my thoughts are compiled in a healthy way, you know. But I value writing. I value writing the way I value information, and I'm versatile for a reason. I am. I'm going to own a couple of businesses because I have the mindset to do that. But as far as my cousin goes, this was important to me. I started the book on August 1st. I finished it around late December, and I kept on adding or taking away. January, February, I kept on adding and taking away, and I wish I didn't, but I did. I feel like this book is incomplete, honestly, because my happiness was being compromised. So I needed something to go ahead and get published. I have to say thank you so much to Chris Lee TV for coming through with the come through and designing my second cover. I'm forever grateful. Mr. Smooth, thank you so much. Yeah, just thank y'all so much for the positivity. Now, if you do get this book, please, please, please leave your review on Amazon so I can actually gain some intel on what you all think, because I don't want to assume what people are thinking. Honestly, constructive criticism is key to my growth, and I look forward to different perspectives because that's how we all learn. It is. So yeah, that's the book, that's the video. Until the next, if I have anything else I probably missed, I'll leave it in the description box below. But one important takeaway, honestly, is don't allow no one else's discouragement to deter you from doing what you want to do, and be very cautious and be very careful of what you share to certain people, because an opportunist will always seek an opportunity. So you're not confined in everything.